Hello and welcome back to my backyard snack yard. We're just going to have a little look at my dwarf nectarine tree here today. It is in a pot and tucked in here amongst a bunch of beautiful, cute, crazy daisies. And I want to take it out now so we can have a proper look at it. Wow, okay, I knew it had grown quite a bit, but I didn't expect it to be this big. It's really been so tucked away that I couldn't see how much it's been growing. I obviously liked where it was. I have been feeding it quite a bit. It gets sort of a nice feed of some kind of tomarite, something I feed tomato plants with as well. It's a really well-balanced seaweed feed. So it does get that, seems to like it. I haven't had any fruits on it. This is the second year I've had it. It's supposed to be a very, very dwarf one that you can easily keep on a patio in a pot. And it was looking a lot smaller when I first got it. I think it was like down to around here. So it's just put on so much growth, and I pruned it quite heavily last year because you're supposed to prune them in the summer. All these sort of stone fruits don't want to be pruned during the winter when they're dormant. They want to be pruned in the summer. And so I did that also because with the climate I live in here in the UK, it's very, very wet. And these sort of trees are native, or the countries that they actually grow in well, are much more dry in the winter. So while they can get cold and they're very hardy, they don't like the very, very wet conditions we have. And if you leave them outside and the flower bud or the leaf buds get wet with rain, then they tend to get peach leaf curl, which can really, really kill the plant off. It looks really unattractive as well for the tree itself, for the leaves. You can see mine is completely free of peach leaf curl because I overwinter it in my tiny greenhouse. It's my little unheated greenhouse. And so I really do need to keep the size down. So what I'm going to do, what I actually had done, because it wasn't going to have any flowers this year, I had planted some beautiful calendula down in this pot. It just looked so pretty. And then he went away and the plant was not watered at all because no one noticed it was there, even though I had mentioned it. It did fine though. I was gone for 10 days and it's completely fine. There are some branches which have died off. Look at this one's quite dry. This one too. Oh, actually it's got some leaves on, that's fine. So this one, a little bit of death. What I'm going to do is I'm going to prune a third of the growth off. You can see this whole branch here. I wonder if this branch is actually coming up from underneath the graft union, which would mean, and I think that is the case, that it's more of a root stock and less of a dwarf. Looks like that is the case. But what I could just do is just prune it really well and just see how it goes. If I take off a third of that, it should still be fine and should still fit inside the greenhouse. That's my main concern. And I want to keep it in that pot. So I'm going to actually prune it down and then I'm going to give it a feed and give it a bit more compost in there. You can see the compost is getting a bit low. So I'll add some extra, just regular compost. It doesn't have any special requirements. And I'm also going to give the pot a good scrub. It's got some mold there because it's been a very, very wet environment. And they are porous. It's a beautiful terracotta pot. And if I give it a good scrub with hydrogen peroxide, that will get all that green off. So it can look all nice and new again. And also the hydrogen peroxide gets in and actually helps the pot and actually helps the roots too. It gives them some more oxygen, which is always a good thing. So lots to do, and I'll give it a good feed. I have actually been feeding it since I came back too. But I think it would do well with a little top of soil and a little prune. So let's just prune quickly and then we'll have another look. I'm not sure if you can see much of a difference. In the end I was a bit more careful with my prune because I was looking really closely here, and you can see like here there are the little beginnings of flower buds. I know that they do flower on the very tips, and I don't want to just eliminate all my chances of flowers next year. So I was a bit careful, but there should be enough left. Like here's lots actually as well. There should be enough left here for me to get some lovely, beautiful pink flowers in the spring. And now on to the pot. So that's how it looks at the moment. And I'm just going to scrub it with this hydrogen peroxide. It is after a little bit of a scrub. I left the sort of white bits up there because I like the way they look. Like a bit aged or something. But yeah, it's nice to give it a good clean. And all I need to do now is to top up the soil. I had to move this pot, I'll just note, I had to move it into the shade because if you're going to use hydrogen peroxide, it won't work if you have it in the sunshine. The sun sort of damages it, so it's best to move it into a shady spot if you want to clean your pots with hydrogen peroxide. Such an easy thing to do. But now I'm going to just get some soil to top up that pot there. Alright, so I've topped it up now with a mixture of regular compost and some fish blood and bone in there for extra nutrition. And the more I look at it, the more I'm convinced that this branch here is a sucker, because I really think it's below the graft union. I think the graft union is here. So I think this is where my little dwarf guy was grafted, well, my little nectarine was grafted onto a dwarf rootstock. And I think, because it looks like it's right here, you see? And then I just think that this guy is a regular, but then he would actually be a dwarf. I don't know. Then he would be a dwarf, wouldn't he? He wouldn't be a nectarine. I don't know how that works then. Well, I'm going to leave him there. I have given him a good prune. I've chopped off like a third of him. He's such a long one. It's very vigorous. And the tree is meant to be a slow growing one, so it doesn't seem that slow growing to me. I see this guy here. It looks like he could be dead. I might just prune him off. I'll just double check when let me just cut some of him off quickly and check if he's dead. Look at that. Yeah, I could just snip him down. There's no point having some dead growth there. And I'm going to put this guy back into the shade. I might top him up. I like putting some moss, actually. Strangely enough, I like putting moss down in his pot. Let me get some of that quickly. Let's give it a really, really good drink now. So all those nutrients can go right down into the plant. And then cover him with a type of mulch, a really beautiful bed of moss. Really helps retain the water, which is really useful now because we're going to have a week of hot weather, and of course that coincides with us going away. And then when we come back again, it's meant to be raining again, so I think that's the way this summer is going to be. We should just go away the whole time. We'll have a really nice hot summer. But I haven't got anyone to water the plants this time, so I am going to have to put some self-watering things in place. So that'll be really, really fun. That'll be another experiment. It's only for a few days, so it's like a real mini break we're having this time. So it should be fun, but I'll let you know how that goes too. That'll be a fun experiment. I'm not going to take any chances. I don't want to risk anything, so I'm going to be really careful with my self-watering things and try to make sure that things do stay slightly moist. It was actually meant to be raining while we were away, but then the weather forecast has changed, so that's going to be nice. But yeah, he looks like he is ready. As you can see, I haven't cut off that little dead branch here yet. Just looking for my scissors, 1 second. So these are the last little fine tunings can do here. That little guy can come off too. Yeah, so he is looking very good now, I think. A little bit bigger than I was expecting, but really nice and healthy. And as we saw earlier, there are lots of little flower buds preparing already now for next spring. They do flower so early, and so last year when it flowered, I think it was in March or something, maybe February, something really crazy like that. So I had him in the unheated greenhouse, and in the end I brought him inside because I just thought the temperature was just dropping to like 0 and stuff. But you can see like all the little flower buds here again. So cute. Little furry things coming along nicely now. So that is also why we don't want to cut off too much of the new stuff, because that is really where they're going to flower. I mean, last year he also flowered sort of down here. You can see here some more. So they do flower everywhere, and keeping him small is very important. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this interesting. Let me know what you think. And also, if any of you know whether or not I should just completely cut off this extra quite large branch, let me know, because I have a feeling I should do. Just doesn't look right, and it looks like it's too vigorous to not be a sucker. And also, yeah, there aren't actually any flower buds on it, so that could just be like, or maybe there are, I don't know. Can't really see any right now. I'm not sure. Okay, but yeah, if any of you are experts on nectarines and can tell whether or not I should just chop that branch off, do let me know. And I will see you next time. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.